With all of the challenges facing our schools, one issue has gone under the radar: seclusion and restraint. They are supposed to only be used as a last resort. In a special News 3 Now investigation, our Chris Stanford learned it happens all the time.
Every child has the right to feel safe and included at school.
It's a controversial way for school staff to react to student behavior.
Restraints are any holds in which a student's ability to move is limited. Seclusion is more than just a timeout. Students are left isolated and confined for excessive periods of time.
Nora has experienced seclusion and restraint for years.
Now, how many tomatoes do you have?
3 tomatoes.
She has Down syndrome and autism.
Hi, my name's Noah.
When I met the 16-year-old, she was sweet, kind, and respectful. Notes from her former school paint a different picture.
Nora lashed out at me again.
Spit, kicked, attempted to bite several times.
Before I realized what was happening, Nora hit me in the face.
Threw a large brick at one of the staff members.
Staff frequently restrain Nora. Surveillance video shows them picking her up off the floor, sometimes dragging her where they wanted her to go. It's hard for a parent to watch.
They said Nora's arms could be moved when they were transporting her. Watch the videos. She can't. Sometimes it's a very nice walk with certain teachers. Other teachers physically transport her and carry her by her arms. So it's hard.
Joshua Rabel believes staff went too far.
That's not about safety. That's about my ego. I'm in charge. You're not listening to me.
Flowers, wow, they're beautiful.
Nora's example may be extreme, but she's certainly not alone. A new report shows 9,000 documented cases of seclusion or restraint in Wisconsin schools last year. 4 out of 5 involve students with disabilities, predominantly in elementary schools. School boards are legally required to report the numbers to the state. The Department of Public Instruction compiled and analyzed the data.
Each of these data points is the lived experience of a student and of the staff surrounding that student.
How accurate do you believe this data is?
So I would say on the whole, this data is that most accurate snapshot that DPI can produce at this time. We have to give schools the benefit of the doubt that what they are telling us is in fact accurate.
A 2019 law makes it clear that seclusion and restraint may only be used when a student's behavior presents a clear, present, and imminent risk to the physical safety of the student or others, and is the least restrictive intervention feasible.
A last resort, very much a last resort.
Disability rights advocate Joanne Yelke works with families impacted by seclusion and restraint.
The ideal approach involves not letting it get to that point in the first place.
She'd like to see seclusion outlawed, but agrees that there are situations restraint may be needed.
Having sufficient staff, having consistent staff, having smaller classes, having mental health supports available in the schools. This is the big picture here.
Is the system failing these students?
Yes, there's not just one systemic failure, but many of them along the way.
Everyone we talk with agrees something needs to change. Any solution would be complex and would require everyone on board, including teachers. Michael Jones, the president of the Madison Teachers Union, says staff is already underpaid, overloaded, and may not be able to handle another top-down initiative.
Educational support professionals are some of the lowest paid employees in our school district. You could get paid more working at other school districts or even at like Target or Walmart or Culver's or Quick Trip.
Jones believes the best shot at change would come from a grassroots movement.
You would get not only a lot more buy-in, but a lot more success.
The bottom line, school staff throughout Wisconsin continue to use seclusion and restraint techniques, which many consider outdated. It's a tough problem to solve since staff is stretched thin, budgets are tight, and it's one of many education issues. Nora has changed schools and is now working with professionals to put the trauma behind her.
What are the long-term effects? Was your question? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to Nora in the future because I don't know how things are going to play out.
Grable would like to see the Keeping All Students Safer Act passed in Washington. It would prohibit seclusion and aim to prevent and reduce restraint in schools. It's been stuck in a Senate committee since last summer. On our website, you can look up your school to see how many seclusion and restraint incidents were reported to the state. Just go to channel3000.com.